Okay, I'm going to walk you through the step number 15 for your Table 1 memo assignment, which is to insert a formula in the difference column. And then it tells you here that the difference is determined by taking the actual amount and subtract the budget amount and then format it to be a dollar sign with zero decimal places. Okay. So on your Word document with your table, again, yours may not look like mine as some of the steps have not completed. So what we're talking about specifically is step number 15 that you see here. Again, only step number 15 is the only one that I'm going to do. And so when you look at this document, we're talking about what you see right here for the difference. Difference means to subtract. And we want to put a formula in there. And what the formula actually is to take this actual amount and subtract the budgeted amount. So we want to take 1,140,000 and subtract 1,245,000. Okay. So if you put your cursor in that cell where the difference is, and come to table layout and click on formula, it immediately wants to sum, add your numbers to the left of the cursor. Well, that's not what we want to do. If you take everything out, leave your equal sign in there and look for a function for subtraction, there is not one. Okay. And so what we have to actually do is we have to construct our own formula. So when you do this, you have to think of this as column A, this is column B, this is column C, and this is column D. Okay? So what we actually want to do, and you don't need to do this unless you really want to, but I'm just going to create a new Word document real quick and give me something that I can type on as we look at this, because I just want to give you a little bit more of a visual. So knowing what you know, this is column A, B, C, and D. Your cursor is over here in the difference column. So it's in column D. And then this is row 1. This is row 2. Item is row 3. Executive is 4. Assistant is 5. Equipment is 6. And so on and so on and so on. Okay. So your cursor over here is actually in column D, row 4. So your cursor's in cell D4. This is column A, row 3, where item is. So if you put your cursor in the item cell, you are actually in cell A3. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so knowing what you know about that, the formula to figure this out, you can go ahead and put your cursor back over there on difference. The formula to figure that out is you take the actual amount minus the budgeted amount. Okay? Now, the actual amount that we're going to deal with first is $1,140,000. And from that, we have to subtract the budgeted amount, which is 1 million. Whoops, I better get my cursor on the right line. Let's try that again. You don't have to type this out, just follow along. $1,245,000. Okay? So we have to turn that now into cells. 1,140,000 is in what cell? Remember, we said this was D4. 1,140,000 is in what cell? Okay, well, this is column A, this is B, this is C. Great, we know it's in column C. What row is it in? This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4. Okay, there you go. $1,140,000 is in cell C4. From that, we subtract 1,245. That's this one. Well, what cell is that in? So you go back. This is column A. This is column B. This is row 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's in cell B4. And it doesn't matter if you have upper or lowercase letters there. Okay. C4, 1,140,000 minus B4, $1,245,000 is the answer to the difference. When you do a formula, they always start with an equal sign. Okay? So there is your formula, C4 minus B4. Okay? So with your cursor over here under that word difference, you click the FX button, not the formula we want. So we delete it and put an equal sign in and then type C4 minus B4. Again, doesn't matter if you use upper or lowercase letters. The number format is going to be a dollar sign and 0 decimal places. I'm going to have you not do anything here. We're going to leave it just like that. And we're going to go ahead and click OK. All right. You should have gotten $105,000. Now, you're going to notice a couple things about the number. Number one, it's in parentheses. Is that right or wrong? Well, it's actually right. Because if you think mathematically, you took a small number, 1,140,000, and subtracted a larger number. That's like saying, what is 10 minus 5? Or no, that would be the wrong way. What is 10 minus 20? A negative 10. Right. That's what you're doing here. You're taking a large number, a small number minus a large number. So leave the parentheses in there. That actually means that it's a negative number in the business world. Then the other thing you have to do is you have to carefully delete the 0.00. And there you have it. So a negative $105,000 is the answer. Okay. Now, if you go down to the next cell, we'd repeat the process. We want to take 360,700 minus 290,500. Okay. So if I come back to this little sheet right here and I put that in there, we want to take 360,700 minus 290,500. What cell is 360,700 in? Column A, column B, column C, row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, put your equal sign in. You don't have to type this. You can just certainly watch. C5 minus what cell is 290,500 in? You're right. It's what? B5. So that's the formula that you're going to use in this cell. You're going to use C5 minus B5. Okay? So we click in the appropriate cell. You click the formula button, take everything out, type the equal sign, put in the C5 minus the B5, change the number format to be the dollar sign. Again, I'm not going to have you do the little take out the decimals here. We're going to do it in another way, but you're going to click OK. Positive number, right? This is your normal subtraction. Big number minus a small number gives you a positive number. And again, I'm going to click inside that, see where I'm at, and I'm going to delete 0, decimal place in 0, and I'm going to have what I want. Now I'm going to tell you, moving on, the rest of these are going to be negative, okay? The rest will be negative. All right, so the next one that we have to do is 720,500 minus 900. You know right now it's going to be negative, right? All right, so what cells are we in? A, B, C. We are now in C6 minus B6. Okay, C6 minus B6. So you click the formula button, leave just your equal sign, C6 minus B6, add the number format. Now, if you want to, and you know it's a negative number, you actually can go in here and delete that 0 point and click OK, and see, then you don't have to do it. Okay? So we have that one done. Now, like I said, the rest of these are going to be negative numbers. Okay? So let's go down to the next one right here. So we have to take 304,500 right here and subtract what? $375,000. So now we got to figure out what cells they belong to. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. Okay, so now you put the formula in, equal, and if you came up with C7 minus B7, you are understanding how to do subtraction. Put it in your $ format. You know it's going to be negative, so you can adjust your decimal places right there. Click OK, and there you have it. Okay, so we got one left. We're not doing calculations. Okay, so under miscellaneous, you come back over here, and now you take the 67,000 minus the 75,000. I'm going to give you a moment to think about what your cells will be. And they should be C8 minus B8. You click the number format. You add the $. If you want to adjust the decimal places now, you can. It's going to be a negative number, and there you have it. So that is how you do step number 15.